Welcome back to Nikki Secondino's Spellbook of Mischief and Magic. This is number 9 and our 21 for my 21 self-love journey, my 21 days. And today we are on scar number 9. And for this wound, scar that I'm sharing is about letting go of control. Control is one of my biggest egos. And it comes from my childhood. It comes from growing up in an environment that was unhealthy and abusive and toxic, and in a place where you were punished for having emotions and you were taught not to express yourself and you were taught to be quiet. You were taught to sit still. You were taught that the adults are always right, even if they are hurting you. You are taught never to question, and you are taught that you are not worthy. So I learned if I played by the rules that was set before me, if I could control what I did and everything in my power, then the punishment wouldn't be as bad. I already knew that the day or the punishment was going to be bad. I could read it. I could read it from the energy that I felt the moment I woke up. And I'm willing to bet money that my body knew before it woke up. I knew that regardless of anything, it was going to be bad. But if I could control some of it to an extent, or all of it to an extent, then it wouldn't be as bad. I wouldn't cry as much. I wouldn't be physically harmed as much. I wouldn't be told what a piece of shit I was as much. I wouldn't hide in my room as much. And as this need for control grew, it expanded in my teenage years to where I had an eating disorder, which sometimes I do struggle with. But there is help out there, and you're perfect the way that you are, which took me a long time to learn. But I struggled with an eating disorder. I struggled with, eating, just eating. I wouldn't eat. It was a way of control, a little bit of body image, but mostly control, because it was something I could control. I also took a dive into self-harm, and that was about self-control, or just control too. Everything that I did was about control, since I had this conditioning, this belief that it was going to be painful anyway. The day pain was going to be inflicted upon me because my parents were angry or whatever the case may be, that at least I can control this pain that I inflict upon myself. I was taught that no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough, that I still deserved pain. So I believed every day was supposed to be filled with pain. That was just normal. That's what I thought was normal. So again, it went back to control. If I can at least control this type of pain. And over time, when I grew into an adult, I stopped with the self-harm. I learned to eat. I worked through those self-harming ways. But control was still an issue. I didn't want to hurt myself anymore. So I don't. I eat, I write, I find healthy ways to deal with the stress. But the biggest thing was healing my past, healing my journey, healing my trauma, and knowing that the trauma and the things in my past are no longer part of my identity. That's just not who I am. Those were limiting beliefs from somebody else. Those were conditioning for someone else. And I healed through it. But the need to control is a response to trauma. And so my body has been trained and my mind has been trained for years, for decades, to control as best as possible. And I quickly learned that the more you try to control, the more your dreams will not come true. There's a balance between your actions and surrendering to the universe. I can't control everything. Nobody can control anything or everything. Nobody can. And so I had to learn how to let go. And the best metaphor I can give you is flying. So I didn't know I was scared of flying until I was on my first flight in the air. And that is when terror struck my heart. I was absolutely petrified. I thought I was going to die. I could not get that out of my brain. I really thought I was going to die. We were going to crash and we were going to die. Because at first I thought it was a fear of heights, fear of flying, but ultimately it was my fear of control manifesting itself into the physical 3D world as panic attacks on an airplane for the first time. Because when you fly as a passenger, you give up 100% of the control. 100%. Like, you are not the pilot, you are not the co-pilot, you are not the flight attendants, you are not all the other passengers on board who are supposed to follow the rules and regulations. You didn't build the airplane. You don't check for the safety regulations on the airplane. You don't check the fuel levels. You don't check all the maintenance on it. None of that. You don't know anything about the plane or the people flying the plane or the people on the plane to get to the other place. But what you do know is that you want to get to your destination because that's what you're dreaming of. You're dreaming of a vacation, you're dreaming of whatever it is, laying on the beach, living in a country you've never been, like whatever the case may be, like you're going somewhere because that's where your dream lies. But in order to get there, you have to surrender the control and give it over to a bunch of people that you don't even know and things that you didn't help make. But when you do, you get there. And either you enjoy the ride or you don't. You build up into a panic attack. You're stressed during your vacation. You're jumpy. Your brain can only think about the flight back. Like, how are we going to die on the way back? Is this all I got? And you don't actually get to enjoy your destination. You don't actually get to enjoy your vacation. It's not sustainable because you're busy with fear and anxiety of what could happen, trying to control the situation when all you had to do was let go and surrender. And so that's how I live my life now. I make a list of what can I do to reach this goal of mine, this dream, and what is out of my control, what is in the universe's control. And then I simply give that over. Yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard. Sometimes it's easy for me and sometimes it's really hard. It just depends on where I'm at in my journey. But it has been oh so rewarding. So rewarding. Because once you lose control, not lose control. Once you hand over control to the universe, to your spirit team, you have your back. And your manifestations come in so much more. And so when you get on the plane, you relax because you've done everything you can. You should enjoy the ride. And then when you get to your destination, you've arrived and you can fully be present in your dream or in your vacation in that destination that you've been looking forward to for so long. And it's sustainable this time. You get to be in the present and not living in fear and anxiety of things you cannot control. So, if you're struggling with control, just know that you are not alone. I'm right there with you. And for me, sometimes it's a decision by decision moment. Something will come, the fear will return, that phantom pain of how am I going to pay this bill or whatever. And in that moment, to be self-aware enough to realize that, hey, I did everything I could today. This is out of my control. In this moment, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to trust in myself and the universe that I will be taken care of. And I will know that I will be taken care of. And I hope this helps. And just know you're not alone.